welcome to Relish Books. Today I want to share some news that's very exciting for me. Our local library has been closed for over a year for renovations. So when my husband and I moved here, we went to the library once, like right after we moved, and they wouldn't even let us get library cards because we didn't have a mailing address yet. And so we went that one time, and then right after that, the library closed for a lot of, renovations, and it has been closed for over a year now. And last Saturday, it finally reopened. So this is my celebration video of that, and this is my celebratory Bookstack from the library. Libraries are, of course, super important to me, and it's been really hard not having a local library to just go to. I've gone a few times to the library the next town over, but they have a much smaller selection. Like, it's a nice library, but it's a pretty small selection, and it's a bit of a drive and all that. And then I would go and get some books, and that'd be all, if I planned that, but then getting them back on time was really hard because I would have to plan a trip. So anyway, I just didn't go very often, and they usually didn't have what I wanted. So it felt so amazing to finally be able to go to the library and just walk through the shelves and know that I could just take home any book that I wanted. Most of my walking through bookshelves has been at Barnes & Noble over the last year, where, I sometimes pick out one book because they're so expensive. And it's also a big choice because, you're buying it and you're going to own it. And if you don't like it, it's a waste. With the library, if you don't like it, it doesn't matter. And you don't have to deal with it. You can just give it back and you don't lose anything. It's amazing. So I am super happy about that. I'm going to be going very often. I've already been 3 times since they opened a few days ago. So super excited. It's just a few minutes away. And I don't think the renovations, in my opinion, were really worth being closed for a year. The biggest thing, they changed some of the rooms. They changed up the children's room, which doesn't affect me that much. The biggest thing was they put in all these bookshelves. They replaced all the bookshelves with bookshelves that have built-in LED lighting, which my husband's an electrician, so he explained that is a huge process. But it doesn't seem to make that much difference. I don't feel like it was worth having the library closed for a year, but it does look nice in there. And the most exciting change that they made for me is that they put a cafe/used bookstore in the library. So I'm very excited for that. That part's actually still not open. The cafe is not scheduled to open until next month. And then I'll probably be going to the library even more often. But the books that I have here, I didn't really have a lot of super specific things to look for. And I was a little disappointed because I was so excited for the library to reopen, and I was like, all my book hunger will be satisfied now and I can just get all the books I want. Well, they still didn't have a lot of the things I was looking for, which hopefully some of their books are still in storage and they just haven't got everything back out yet. But they didn't have any Daphne du Maurier. So that was disappointing, none at all, not even Rebecca. And there were a couple other things that I was looking for that they didn't have. So I kind of just walked around and grabbed things that looked interesting. One in particular that someone had recommended. And then Mary Oliver. I was really pleased with their Mary Oliver section. They had a good fat Mary Oliver section. It was nice because they didn't have a bunch of the ones that I own, but they had a bunch that I don't. So that was really nice. So I have Blue Iris, which I just started. It's got some really nice poems. Some of them that aren't my favorite because this is a later collection, and Mary Oliver's later works, once she hit the 2000s, I feel like her work really declined. She kind of let this kind of snarky and modern tone, this over casual tone, kind of creep into her poetry. She'll use words like okay or she'll just put in phrases. It sounds like she's trying, like, almost like slangy. And it's just not the precision and beauty that she had in her older collections, but there's some really good ones in here. Anyway, Why I Wake Early, which I have read before, but I don't own it, so I checked it out to read again. West Wind. This is this is one I have not read before, as far as I remember, so I'm excited about that. And The Leaf and the Cloud, which is a single long poem divided into sections. So I'm really excited about that one. I haven't read that one either. So very excited about these. So that's my Mary Oliver finds. And then I got All Quiet on the Western Front. This is a book that obviously I've known the name of, probably everybody knows the name of, for years and years, but I never felt a lot of interest in reading it. You know, it's described by most everybody as being the greatest war story ever written. So, I don't read war books that often. I feel like they're good once in a while, but I don't want to. It can be a lot to read a lot of them close together. But it's been a while, so I don't know. I was like, man, I've heard that title for forever. And I opened it up and just looking at some of the lines, the writing sounds good. So we'll see. I have no idea really what it's going to be like, but I'm going to be reading that one. Then this one, someone in the comments suggested this for a fantasy suggestion, Piranesi, if I'm saying that correctly. I have seen this book around a lot the last couple years. Very popular, very famous, which for a kind of new book, I just don't usually try them because, unless I know about them, because they usually just have content that I'm not into. They're usually not written really great, but I'm giving this one a try. It does have some dark, I'm about halfway through, has some dark subject matter, but it's like, there's just some dark, bad people. So, dark subject matter, you know, it's relative. It's all about how it's dealt with rather than I won't read a book that has this and this and this. It's more like, well, in what way are these things being talked about? So I'm about halfway through. So far, I like it. The first few chapters were amazing, very submersive. I feel like with the setting of this book, it's kind of inevitable that the first few chapters are going to be the most interesting and the most just kind of, you know, you're wondering what's going on. You have kind of an idea right from the start what the place is, but the descriptions are really fun. The setting is neat. The main character, the protagonist, is he's kind of an annoying narrator, but it's not really his fault because, you know, he has mental issues that you don't know, like, to what extent, and you don't have, you know, it's like a mystery. You don't really know what all is going on. You don't know what he knows and what he doesn't, at least at the start. So it's very interesting. I will let you know what I think of it when I get through, about halfway. But so far, the writing's good. The world is really great. I've really been feeling hungry for just kind of a simple, fun read. So this is kind of doing that for me right now. And then I grabbed this one. I'll share with you. This is not a reading book, but 200 pasta dishes. And then I was so excited. They had a couple of books by Claire Keegan, one of my favorite authors, just based off a couple little things of hers that I've read. These are short stories, which I think is just her style in general. Even her books that are called novels are very, very short. They're basically short stories. So Late in the Day and Antarctica. Both short story collections. So I will be checking those out, maybe off and on, reading stories here and there. Hopefully they're good. I'm sure the writing will be amazing. You never know about short stories. Unfortunately, they kind of have this tendency to be about just really weird and unpleasant things sometimes. It's kind of the genre of short story a lot of the time. But I have loved the books that I've read by her, Foster and Small Things Like These. are both amazing. So I am really excited about all of these. I'm super excited to be able to just go to the library as much as I want and check out as much as I want. So yeah, that's my exciting news and my Bookstack that I'm going to be working on. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.